Hi, I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This is an update for this Thursday, January 9th, 2025. It's a little bit past 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and this update is for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, where we share information between private sector liaisons within state emergency operations centers and private sector owner and operator organizations so we can keep the economy moving across state lines, get power restored quickly when we have events that are triggering power loss, and also make sure commerce moves for transportation, food, fuel, logistics, and also prescription drugs, making sure they reach their destinations safely. This is a GOES West satellite image. I've combined two channels showing the fire temperature RGB channel. RGB means red, green, blue, with the visible channel as well. So you can see a hint of the smoke coming out of these two major fires that are burning right now. As a matter of fact, I'll point these out. This one is the Palisades fire right here. Yes, the GOES satellite orbiting at 22,300 miles can detect heat. It has an infrared channel, and that's what we're using to identify heat. And these are two extremely hot and large wildfires. This one over here is called the Eaton Fire around Pasadena, California. You can see the smoke streaming off of that one. I can put on just the visible data, but I wanted to show you how we can see the flames basically and the heat signatures from these wildfires. And I'll give you an update on some of those here with regard to impacts to air quality and also transportation. I can turn off the fire temperature RGB data and then make the fire temperature or the visible satellite a little bit brighter. And you can see what it looks like. Look at that smoke. As a matter of fact, I want to show you a really interesting image, which is a combination of the satellite image. I'm going to tilt it on its side a little bit so south is actually going to be looking up, north is looking down, because I want to show you the perspective of this Alert Wildfire camera as well. So let me show you what that looks like here. This is what it looks like from the standpoint of the satellite image, satellite picture, and I'm gonna change this just a little bit here to go right here. There we go. So you can see the Eaton Fire here. That's this one, and then the Palisades Fire is this one right here. And so you can see the smoke going out over Catalina Island, and it's really causing health issues on the ground between where the fire is happening and the coastline. Authorities are basically saying the air quality is terrible. So you should not venture outside if you're exposed to the smoke for a long period of time and you have respiratory problems, you're elderly, trouble breathing. This is only going to exacerbate that situation. Now I want to put this camera in motion. This camera is looking down at the Eaton Fire. So it's looking from the north to the south. That's why I oriented the GOES satellite data so you can see it. The smoke is going from from east to west out over the Pacific, and you can see that happening here in the satellite, where that smoke is moving from the east to the west, sort of like the southwest a little bit, because strong high pressure to the north is creating a gradient with the low pressure to the south, and it's funneling those winds through these mountains here, and that's what's making them go so fast. It's called the Venturi effect, where you have pressure gradients and wind coming through mountain valleys really accelerating here. Now the good news is that the winds have died down somewhat. You can see from the clouds or the smoke that it's moving rather quickly. At least we don't have the hurricane force winds, but we do have extreme red flag warnings in effect and also high wind advisories. They will go away during the day tomorrow. So winds still could gust to 30, 40, and even 50 miles per hour. This fire, the Palisades Fire, is 0% contained. 0% contained. and it is causing just tremendous amount of damage. I'm sure you've seen all the pictures and the images from Southern California. We're not going to dive into that, but just know for the All Hazards Consortium here, this is the smoke, and the smoke is impacting residents, businesses on the ground here, all the way from Pasadena, California, where the Eaton fire is, through Monterey Park, through Long Beach, down towards Long Beach, and over to the west as well, a little bit towards Hawthorne, Inglewood. All of these areas are seriously impacted by this wildfire. And the Eaton fire itself, the entire Angeles National Forest is temporarily closed for public safety and for the protection of natural resources from today through Wednesday, January 15th. So until next week, January 15th at midnight. The closure order and has been ordered and prohibits a lot of activities. You can look that up on the internet. Also, advice given by authorities: do not drink water in the evacuated areas. Debris and elevated turbidity from the Eaton fire potentially impacted Pasadena's water and power, their water and power's drinking water system in the evacuation areas. So here is the Eaton fire in Pasadena. Again, advice is given: do not drink the water in the evacuated areas. Debris and elevated turbidity from the Eaton fire potentially impacted the Pasadena Water and Power's drinking water system. So this is a serious situation, and the entire area is really being devastated by these terrible fires. Palisades, Pacific Palisades is just basically decimated in these fires. And I'm just looking to see if there's any other immediate activities here from any other alerts coming up in this particular fire. It doesn't look like it at this moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like full screen. I'm going to take the satellite loop full screen here and bring this down just a little bit. I've reoriented the satellite imagery. And these are very, very hot wildfires. Now, I'm going to go over to GeoCollaborate full screen because I do want to show you what it looks like from the standpoint of the heat signatures from these satellites. This is a data feed of the wildfire hotspots from NASA. This is from the MODIS sensor on board the Aqua and Terra satellites. They're NASA research platforms that have been performing well beyond their design lifetime, and also the VIIRS sensor on the NOAA polar orbiting satellites. So the VIIRS sensor is a high-resolution sensor that also can identify hotspots. This is the Palisades fire here, all of these individual hotspots. This one is the Eaton fire in Pasadena. Here's Pasadena here, and we showed you the smoke. These are two other fires that have recently developed to the west of the Eaton fire. This one is the Creek fire, this one is the Hearst fire actually, and then up towards the northern part of this, I'll scroll down just a little bit of what you're seeing here. This fire, these hotspots, is the Lydia fire, 348 acres. Burning right now, and that's detected by satellite and confirmed because it is being addressed right now by firefighters are responding. It's very mountainous terrain here, so they're not really getting in to fight this one terribly, and there are no structures in the way of that particular fire. But this one in Pasadena is really impacting a lot of residences and businesses, and there are active evacuations for the Eaton fire that has been burning for the last couple of days. I'm going to switch over to another instance of GeoCollaborate here because I want to show you the smoke model. This is the high-resolution rapid refresh smoke model, and it shows you the near surface smoke and where it's dangerous to breathe. This is what it looks like. This is the Eaton fire. This is the Palisades fire. And this is all smoke from the model that is near the ground. It's very difficult to breathe in these areas, and you should remain out of those areas. A lot of these areas have been evacuated. 180,000 people are under evacuation orders because of these terrible fires. These other spots that you see are hotspots detected by satellites. Not all of them are fires, but as you know, embers that come out of these fires can land anywhere and start spot fires. Satellites can pick them up if they're large enough and hot enough. But that's what it looks like from the standpoint of this smoke model. I can back out here a little bit, and you can see just the wide area of hotspots that the satellite is actually detecting. So back over to GeoCollaborate here. I'm going to back out, and we're going to address our attention towards the winter storm that is impacting Texas and a lot of the South. This is the Winter Storm Severity Index product from the National Weather Service at the Weather Prediction Center in College Park, Maryland. And this shows over the next 1 to 3 days where the winter weather will be impactful as far as transportation goes and critical infrastructure. And I do have the legend that I'll put on here so you can see what I'm talking about. Right now, there is a lot of impactful weather around the Dallas, Texas area. Areas to the north of Dallas and Oklahoma are receiving a snowfall right now as temperatures are in the high 20s in Oklahoma. But in Dallas, the temperatures go from anywhere from 31 to 33 degrees. So there's a combination in Dallas of freezing rain, snow, and some sleet and some rain when you get above freezing there, but conditions are very slippery and treacherous. So this impact will remain for the next 12 to 24 hours because as this low pressure system moves along the south, cold air is going to be funneled in over northeast Texas. So that's going to keep some of that ice around there. But you can see that the danger from winter storm impacts from the sleet, the freezing rain, and the snow is going to extend across Arkansas. This purple area is really extreme impact from ice, and driving is not recommended in southern Arkansas and also northeastern Texas here. Actually, anywhere in the orange, driving is going to be hazardous, but where you see a red and purple, that is where travel is not advised. It's going to be very treacherous in these areas. Now, the danger extends across Tennessee into Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Missouri, and also into Mississippi and northern Alabama. So over the next day, 24 to 36 hours, this area will expand to the north and east as well. But this is something that the South doesn't see too often. Atlanta, you're going to have a combination of snow and sleet and freezing rain. And after that low passes by, temperatures are going to go down below freezing. Currently in Atlanta, it's 42 degrees, so nothing really to worry about. But the precipitation is far to your west right now. So here's the radar data and what that looks like. You can see from a broad area, this is rain down here to the south, but in Dallas it changes to freezing rain and also snow. And all of this up here is snow falling through Oklahoma and Norman. That has impacted schools in those areas. I believe in the Norman district, schools went to school and then the snow moved in. So a tough time there getting the kids back home after school. But in Arkansas, this is all snow. When you get down to the south here in southern Arkansas, where we have those potential dangerous driving conditions, this is freezing rain and sleet down here. Temperatures are right around 30 degrees in Little Rock. Down towards southern Arkansas, it's around 35, 36 degrees. but some pockets of temperatures close to freezing. So the impact is going to spread to the east as all of this mess moves to the east. And we expect that in the mid-Atlantic, there'll be some impacts by Saturday. But down here in the south, around Atlanta, over to South Carolina, into parts of North Carolina, there's going to be some hazardous driving conditions. So be prepared for that. So let's take a look at the model data and what it looks like. I've loaded up the HER model. It's got 1 hour output. It doesn't go out as far as the GFS model, but I do want to highlight this data here. You can see the freezing precipitation. This is where the dangerous driving conditions are going to happen from there north because this is all snow. This is a forecast model, and I want to step through this hour by hour here. You can see how that purple area extends through southern Arkansas. That is freezing rain. Even in northwest Louisiana, we could have freezing rain and very slippery conditions. Snow, heavy at times in Arkansas, will lead to accumulations of 6 to 10 inches of snow in many areas there. And then entering western Tennessee, boy, you're going to get pounded there as well. Memphis, you'll see heavy snow at times, and that will continue for a while over the next probably 6 to 12 hours. You'll get some moderate to heavy snows. And then that will continue to move to the east. But look at this. We're talking about early in the morning on Friday, tomorrow, Atlanta. We're talking about a mixture of snow and freezing rain as temperatures at the surface are quite cold. So we're going to be seeing impacts throughout the South over the next several hours, 12 hours at least. And then into Atlanta, 24 to 36 hours will be the impact. Now, I've switched over here to the GFS model so I can take it further out into the future to show everybody what the impacts are likely to be from this winter storm. You can see snow in northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. That's going to be ice as well in that transition line all the way down to Birmingham. So there'll be impacts in Birmingham, and I'll show you GeoCollaborate what the watches, warnings, and advisories look like as far as that's concerned as well. I'm going to turn that on for GeoCollaborate and then turn off the Winter Storm Severity Index here, and then I'll switch over to that. So take a look at this. This is the far extent of winter storm warnings extending all the way to southeastern Virginia now, into North Carolina, including Raleigh, North Carolina, down through Charlotte, North Carolina, and central South Carolina. So Columbia, South Carolina will be impacted by this winter storm. Winter weather advisories are in this blue area south of that. So Birmingham, you're in a winter storm warning. And also in Mississippi, winter storm warnings in the north central part of the state. Arkansas covered by winter storm warnings down here. These winter storm warnings extend all the way from northeast Texas over to southeast Virginia. Now you can see scrolling at the top of the screen in red, there are emergency declarations and waivers that are being issued. The state of Virginia had a declaration of emergency issued for the previous storm that happened on Monday and Sunday night. That is just going to remain in effect. So the state of Virginia has declared a state of emergency, and these impacts are extending all the way to the east coast of Virginia, the eastern shore of Virginia. Maryland may be impacted. We'll see how that goes. Just looks like a light dusting of snow as this system tracks off to the south during the night, Friday night into Saturday morning. But winter weather advisories may be extended to include the state of Maryland. So this is what it looks like from the standpoint of the watches, warnings, and advisories in GeoCollaborate. Now back to the model data so we can show you how that is going to progress, at least from the standpoint of the GFS model. So we'll take this into Friday afternoon. Atlanta, you're dealing with some nasty weather, mixture of snow, sleet, and freezing rain, and snow well up to the north. So northern Georgia, northwest South Carolina, unfortunately, those recovering from Hurricane Helene will be seeing some moderate to heavy snow, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow in the mountains of North Carolina. Tennessee is going to be in the middle of it. during the day tomorrow as this storm system moves through. And then it starts to, at least to the north, starts to fall apart a little bit. And the heavy snow remains, though, along south central and southeast Virginia. That is why there are winter storm watches in effect, or winter storm warnings in extreme southeast Virginia. And West Virginia has winter storm watches right now. But as this model data comes through, those watches and advisories may be extended northward into parts of Maryland as we talk about early Saturday morning. You can see that's what it looks like. And then it looks like we have some moderate to heavy snow that's possible in southeastern Maryland, including Salisbury, including St. Mary's County, Calvert County perhaps, as this system moves off the coast. But it will have a rapid ending to it. This is 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So light snow likely in the Baltimore, Washington area, maybe an inch, maybe 2 in some locations. Very powdery snow that you can just brush off. But down to the south, that's where the big impacts are going to be. So pay attention to your local broadcast meteorologists, also to the National Weather Service forecast offices there. The watches, warnings, and advisories are dynamic as those weather conditions change, and the anticipation of whether it's more snow or more sleet or freezing rain, those advisories will be updated. For the All Hazards Consortium, the GeoCollaborate dashboard, you can refer to it and you can see all the latest watches, warnings, and advisories that have been issued, and that will continue to be updated, as well as the crawls at the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen. So that's it for this update. Thanks for watching. Please take care of yourself. Also take care of your neighbors. So many neighbors need your help, whether it's the snow or the ice, freezing rain, and whether it's wildfires or smoke. Please watch out for your neighbors. Look out for them. They do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow with another update on this winter storm and also the fires in Los Angeles. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.